Hey folks, Marty Griffin here. Bill Artman, CEO of Giant Eagle, Mark Cuban. Two big shots, as we would say in Pittsburgh, wouldn't we, Mark?
No.
You're a big shot. My grandma would say he's the biggest shot.
No, Bill is. I'm just here shopping at Giant Eagle, and he asked me to come up for an interview.
And thank you very much for doing that. Mark.
Yeah, I mean, the prices are great. You know, there's great selection. I mean, it's my favorite store.
We don't say giant, we say giant. Giant, right, Mark?
Giant, yeah, Jingle.
Giant Jingle. Your site's been cool from its inception, but most people don't know the opportunity here, and this partnership is tremendous for Pittsburghers, isn't it, sir?
Yeah, I mean, there's costplusdrugs.com for mail order. Then there's a second part of the company called Team Cuban Card. And by the way, I did not name it. TeamCubanCard.com, and it's for people who don't want to wait for mail order. You know, they live close to a Giant Eagle. You go to TeamCubanCard.com, download the card or print it out, however you want to do it, and then with your prescription, you just come right to your Giant Eagle, and you can pick up the medication.
Let's be blunt here. I went through, because it's weird, it almost doesn't seem real. I went through a bunch of drugs I used because I had cancer, so I have some drugs I take. I have asthma, so there's a drug I take. One of the drugs is $400 retail, you're selling it for 20 bucks. How does that happen, Mark?
Because our markup's only 15%. You know, the rest of the industry, particularly mail order, they price it to what they think they can get away with. We take the exact opposite approach. When you go to costplusdrugs.com or teamcubancard.com, you actually see our cost. You know exactly what we pay for it. You know that our markup is 15%. And sometimes with Team Cuban Card, it's a little bit different because, you know, Giant Eagle, you know, we're different pharmacies that have some different economics sometimes. But effectively, you're going to get the best price that you can get simply because we're not trying to maximize, you know, the margins that we get. We're trying to do the right things for patients, and that's why it's such a great partner with Bill and Giant Eagle partnership, because you know they feel the same way about their consumers, they feel the same way about the pharmacy, so we're really excited to be working with Bill.
This is important to you because it's your hometown.
Yeah, for
In
sure.
fact, I sent you an email a couple months ago and said, hey, you got to, you said, and I quote, man, I've been trying this for years. Did you not?
Yeah.
So this was important to you.
Oh yeah, I mean Pittsburgh's home. You know, I grew up going to Giant Eagle and St. Clair Shopping Center, you know, in Birdland, and you know the opportunity to put this together. And you deserve a lot of credit. You and Bill are friends, and you know you got us together. And so this is this is the Marty Griffin deal.
It is. Bill, speaking of, we've become friends, and really you asked me, you said, do you know Mark? I said, well, I interviewed him for 20-some years, and he's always been really good with the media, and really, there's no one at his level in history that responds to emails the way he does. It's bizarre.
Because I'm the only one ever to give his email out.
Right? So the communication process started immediately, and you cut this deal immediately. So why is this important to you and Giant Eagle?
Well, providing high quality food and high quality pharmaceuticals at an affordable price is very important. And you know, people are under a lot of pressure, a lot of stress out there. And when you and I had the conversation, you said you had a relationship with Mark, and to Mark's credit, exactly what you just described. I emailed Mark and I got something back in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I was like, someone has to be fielding his emails.
No.
To say, I know, it's me.
I'm like, but this is great. And Mark immediately said, let's go. Let's get it done. And we got our folks on it and went through the proper channels, and it really didn't take that long, and I just wish we'd have done it sooner.
No, Bill is great. I mean, he's obviously a visionary, but he hit the nail on the head. People are feeling a lot of stress right now. And I think the consumer companies that will excel are the ones that recognize if you can reduce the stress of your customer base, whether it's produce, pharmaceuticals, whatever it is, you're going to have a customer for life. And I know Bill in particular has really stressed that with us and Giant Eagle.
Hey, help me though. People don't get it though, man. How does a drug go for a retail price of $1,000 and you get it for 20 bucks? What the hell's going on in the $980 differential? What is that, sir?
Not everybody sells it for the retail price,
Right.
so there's some discounts against that depending on where you go. But there's a lot of intermediaries, they're called pharmacy benefit managers,
Right.
that have to take their piece of the pie. And in many cases, that's 50, 60, 70% or more of the value of the sale of a pharmaceutical. And so we don't work with the PBMs. Let me take that back. We only work with what's called pass-through PBMs.
I see.
Right? We don't work with the biggest PBMs. And because of that, we're not able to get every drug, But of all the 7,200 SKUs we have, and Bill has SKUs here at Giant Eagle, probably more. We're able to sell them for much less expensive.
Give us an idea of how this works from your end, sir. What do your people do to get this deal done?
Basically, it's like, okay, Bill, what do we need to do to make you happy?
Yeah.
Because Giant Eagle is a force.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, what they've done with their pharmaceutical, they picked up a lot of the Rite Aid business.
They did.
And they just picked it up. It was not like a stress on them. They were able to take care of that business. Now they're growing rapidly. I mean, they've got the pharmacy side of their business down to a science.
Yep.
And so for us, it was just a matter of saying, okay, how can we fit in and make sure it works? How do we get the folks up to speed so that someone who comes in with the Team Cuban card or just even on their phone can pick up their medications, and it happens quickly and painlessly.
So, my man, how will this work in terms of, I got a card, what do I do as a customer?
Well, you can, first off, you're not forced to go to Giant Eagle.
Right.
We'd love to see you at Giant Eagle, but you have mail order, as Mark referred to earlier, and if you choose to get your script filled at Giant Eagle, you come up, you go through the same process, and you present your Cuban card and let them know that you are a participant.
Look at that.
And that's it.
Team
right there.
Cuban card. Get it laminated.
So
It won't get teenagers in bars, though.
No, it will not.
no.
Because that was his thing back in the day. He ran clubs.
So let's change the subject.
That was Mark's history. That's how you kind of got started with your business sense. My son always asked me, how did you get started? When you were really young, that was kind of your background.
Yeah, we used to throw a party when I was
Yep.
in college.
Yeah,
we'll
yeah,
just leave it at
college,
that.
Indiana.
Yeah, we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, but that's true, though.
Yeah, it is true.
In fact, the thing about Mark that I love, and this is the truth, he's insanely loyal to his background. In fact, some of your friends ended up at broadcast.com, which is when you started this monster roaring down the road, which is actually when this...
What we're doing here with streaming, yeah.
Right on, streaming. He was the first. You made them very successful. You just grabbed them. One of them was a flight attendant from Southwest.
Yeah.
You're very, very tied into family and friendships, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm pretty loyal, yeah.
In fact, some of your friends sent me a picture of 4 or 5 of you at a Pirate game last night. You told me you've known them since when?
12 years old.
12.
Yeah.
And so people can trust you and trust this company is what I'm trying to establish here, right?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, that's the key to any company. And Bill obviously feels the same way, that you reduce people's stress, you save them money, you make their lives easier and better. And people stress about their food bills and they stress about their healthcare bills. And with costplusdrugs.com and teamcubercard.com, the whole mission is to reduce that stress and sell them as inexpensively as we possibly can.
We're talking about saving, no exaggeration, brother, millions of dollars. Right?
Well, we fill over 30 million prescriptions at
Wow.
Giant Eagle, so
Yeah.
the more guests that are able to take advantage of this opportunity, the more they're going to save. And look, we've said all along, Marty, you've heard me numerous times on your show, you have to think like the customer, not for the customer.
Right on.
And this is an
100%.
example of, hey, if I was a customer and I wanted to figure out how to save, why not give them the optionality to do so? And we're lucky to be partnered with Mark.
Hey, you spent your life,
And
Mark.
let me just add.
Yeah,
that is,
please.
For all of you that want to be an entrepreneur,
Right.
Bill just nailed it. You don't think for the customer, you think like a customer. And I think that's what a lot of people miss. I tell my kids, I do Shark Tank, you name it. It's like, how do you put yourself in the shoes of the customer? Because if you can't do that, and if you're not excited to do that, you're not going to succeed no matter what the company is.
Yeah.
And this just fills that to a T. When somebody's stressed and they're worried about how they're going to afford their medication, there's more and more high deductible plans, and you can't even afford your deductibles. And that's why with Team Cuban Card with Giant Eagle, there's a really good chance that we're going to save you money, and there's a really good chance that we're going to be cheaper than your deductible from your insurance company.
Hey, folks, I went online live this morning and started looking through drugs and started getting texts from people. This is legit. It's amazing. It's kind of mind-boggling. All I ask you to do is go to the site, pick your ailment, man.
Yeah. No, like even if you're on Medicare, Part D, or Medicare Advantage,
Yeah.
like there's times, like you talk about cancer drugs in particular.
Yep.
What the PBM industry does, the middleman side of the industry does, they create these things called specialty tiers. And that's just an excuse to raise the price of drugs. We don't have tiers, right? We just mark everything up 15%, give or take, for the Team Cuban Card. And that gets your price lower. And so we'll have people who are on Medicare Advantage that their monthly bill for a imatinib, a cancer drug, might be $188. and then get it from us for $34.50.
Come on, man.
And that's with the Medicare Advantage.
That's
plan.
really cool.
So you print out your Cost Plus Team Cuban card, you walk into Giant Eagle, and you can just pick it up, and your out-of-pocket is going to be cheaper at Giant Eagle than it is with your Medicare Advantage plan.
I have a franchise called Get Marty. This may be the best Get Marty I've ever done by hooking you two up.
Yeah, I think so.
Right?
Yep.
Mark, you're a disruptor. You spent your life as a disruptor. This has to feel good. So you're making a difference in disrupting the marketplace and helping people.
Oh, of course. I mean, nobody looks at their healthcare and says, boy, this is great. And, you know, you might love your doctor, you might love the hospital you go to, whatever it may be, but the minute you have to pay the bill, everything falls apart. And it's a shame because healthcare really isn't an easy business. You go to the doctor, you know, if something's up, you know, then the question is, what do you have to do? And then if it's a medication or if it's care, there's only two questions. What does it cost and how are you going to pay for it?
It's true.
And those have been so convoluted and messed up in the healthcare industry, we're trying to simplify it. And so now with costplusdrugs.com and the Team Cuban card with Giant Eagle, we think we have. We think we've gone a long way because, you know, I was listening to this podcast probably 4 months ago, and the guy came up with a formula for trust. He goes, trust equals transparency divided by self-interest. And the more transparent you are, the higher that numerator is, right? And the less self-interest, the lower the denominator. And so with Cost Plus, we show you our costs. There's nobody more transparent. And then in terms of self-interest, our markups are 15%. And we tell you what our markups are, so you know we're not stealing from you. You know, when our price goes down, your price goes down. Like we just got the generic for Entresto. Is that right? Yeah, I always get my drug names wrong.
Yeah.
And we've only had it out for 3 weeks, but our volumes went up so quickly, our cost went down, so we passed it on. The minute we get it into inventory, we pass that price on. And that's how you build trust, because people know we're not trying to squeeze anybody, we're trying to pass on and do the best that we can, just like Giant Eagle does with Bill.
Two great Pittsburghers making a difference. None of this happens without Cuban, who came back here for this today, or Bill Artman, who started bagging groceries. Now, my man, you're making a difference in thousands of lives. Very, very cool.
Yeah, more than that, millions.
Millions of lives.
Yeah.
Thank you, and you know, all the credit really goes to our pharmacy teams who are very professional, take great care of our patients, and you know, price gets magnified in the absence of value. So hopefully, a nice, affordable price here with Team Cuban card, and us providing a great experience at the pharmacy tied together. And I think we're going to be very successful.
I can't let him go because people tell me I'm a jerk for not asking him. He was at the game last night, and literally, because I know a bunch of kids that took pictures with Mark. He's that cool to these young kids. They were cheering, "Buy the team, buy the team."
I already screwed up with one team.
You did all right with that team, my man. No chance.
You know, I thought about it, like, you know, normally it was one of the first games where media to come up or somebody
Yeah, of course.
come up to interview me. And I had it all planned out where if I got interviewed, I was going to say, yeah, I'm here to announce I'm buying the
Oh, man, that would be
just
cool.
to mess with everybody, right? But no, it's not going to happen.
Because he don't want to sell.
Yeah. And plus, it'd be tough for me to come back and do
Yeah, it would,
baseball,
man.
so.
It would. It'd be hard. Mark Cuban, Bill Artman, two kings making a difference. Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
Thank
Marty.
you,
All right, man.
That was fun.